Morning to you. This is the Starr Breakfast News on your Simply the Best dial 103.5 FM. Coming up this morning, aide to Dr. Bawumia rejects invitation from minority MPs to debate mid-year budget review, saying the vice president will only debate presidential aspirants.
We have equally competent people in parliament who can debate them. The vice president will debate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama because they are the two leaders vying to lead this country.
Also coming up, aide to former President John Mahama, Joyce Bawumia dispels assertions that the flag bearer of the NDC is afraid of engaging Dr. Bawumia in a debate ahead of the 7th December general election.
The IEA accepts that there's a certain order, that since it's a convention, there's a certain conversation that should also have taken place, which had not taken place. And I think they admit that fact, which is fine.
And later, NPP youth in Sishuyi also demand public apology from Speaker of Parliament for sacking the MP from the House over rude comments.
Humiliated the person, and that is why the people of Sishuyi also are calling on the Speaker to render the apology. We don't need that private thing that they have done yesterday. We need a public apology, that's all.
We've got details coming up shortly. Many thanks to you for choosing Star News. I am Nurein Abass. We begin this morning. The camp of the Vice President and flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has turned down an invitation from minority MPs for Dr. Bawumia to participate in debates on the mid-year budget review statement. According to the MPs, this is an excellent opportunity for the Vice President to debate on the economy, despite his calls to John Mahama of the NDC to a debate. Now reacting to the invitation, aide to Dr. Bawumia, Kofi Tonto, described the move as senseless, noting Dr. Bawumia will only debate his solo presidential aspirants and not MPs.
We put, generally, the idea is you put people who are neutrals to be the arbiters. So how can you take somebody who is an adversary and sit you on a table and ask you a million questions, clearly coming from a biased standpoint? The point is this. We have equally competent people in parliament who can debate them. The vice president will debate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama because they are the two leaders vying to lead this country. And any other person who is vying to lead this country can participate in that debate. There is no issues. But where from this whole thing that a group of parliamentarians are going to debate? No, you think about it. Do you think a group of MPP communicators can call John Dramani Mahama and say that we are also going to debate John Dramani Mahama? You ask yourself, where will it end? Okay, so NDC parliamentarians have called. Tomorrow, should the MPP parliamentarians also call John Dramani Mahama and say that come and sit down, so we also debate? Or the NPP communicators call John Mahama and say come and sit down, we'll debate? How does that work? The people will debate those they have to debate.
You had aide to the Vice President and NPP flag bearer Kofi Tonto. Now, from the camp of the NPP, let's move to the NDC because aide to the flag bearer John Dramani Mahama, Joyce Bawumia, has dispelled assertions made by his opponent in the 7th December general election that Dr. Bawumia is of the NPP, of Dr. Bawumia, the former president, is afraid of engaging him in a debate. According to Joyce Muktari, the party is ready to have a debate with the flag bearer of the governing NPP if they are properly consulted. She spoke in an exclusive interview with Starr FM.
I think that the release did not even refer or even criticize, even passing, just passively, the fact that they had declined in 2016 and declined in 2020. So please, I think that nothing happened. I am not actually indicating whether or not it's about the IEA. I'm just saying that one, we didn't like the approach. Secondly, I think that it was wrong. Thirdly, I think it sought to actually give the impression that they were actually aligned with our opponent. And I think I said so very clearly. And they didn't deny any of that in their response to us this morning. So I think that the IEA accepts that there's a certain order, that since it's a convention, there's a certain conversation that should also have taken place, which had not taken place. And I think they admit that fact, which is fine. We are ready to debate any day or time.
Is your concern the fact that the person behind the IEA is aligned to the New Patriotic Party?
I don't even want to belabor that point.
You had aide to former president and NDC flag bearer Joyce Bawumia dispelling assertions by the vice president that the flag bearer of the NDC is afraid of engaging him in a debate. Now, she further punched holes into the credit scoring scheme policy announced by Dr. Bawumia, which would allow the youth to buy smartphones on hire purchase and pay in installment with 1 cedi if he is elected as president.
We must all start to demand of our leaders, right? Accountability. Look at the campaigns in other jurisdictions. They campaign on issues. Can you imagine Kamala going to tell a group of people that she was going to offer them what? A mobile phone, and you pay 1 cedi every month. Really? You wouldn't dare come out a second time even to speak. I think that I love one thing about John Mahama's campaign so far. We are focused on the issues.
Right.
What matters? Cutting down the size of government to have 60 people working. How do you even talk about efficiency? How do you protect the public purse? How do you save the dollar from running as fast as it's doing? And where are all those people who were touting a certain West kid who today can even stand and have the audacity to tell us that what we need is what? A cedi per month to pay for a phone. Natalie, I'm sure MTN has many phones they can give out to the poor, and they do it through corporate social responsibility. MTN is building schools to augment what government does. They're doing a lot of things already. They don't need a vice president, for example, to tell us.
You had aid to former president and NDC flag bearer Joyce Bawa Mukhtari. Away from that, NPP youth in Sishu also are demanding a public apology from the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Smana Kingsford Badmin, for driving out their MP. The Speaker ordered the Marshal of Parliament to lead Dr. Kwekwe Free out over comments he deemed rude. This, the youth say, is a dent in the image of the constituency or on the image of the constituency. Hence, they demand for a public apology. Atta Mafo is NPP constituency secretary in Sishu also, and he's been speaking to Star News.
And we don't take it kindly. And that is why we are calling on the Speaker of Parliament to render unqualified apology within 7 days, as we advise ourselves and take the necessary action against the Speaker. Yes, clandestinely, yesterday we heard that the Speaker called our MP to his chamber and they have settled the issues amicably. But we want the Speaker of Parliament to come into public and say that what happened was unfortunate. Because look at the social media, something going on between Muntaka and the Speaker of Parliament. Muntaka even referred to the Speaker of Parliament as being a tyrant. Did he sack him? History is the best judge. Honorable Babi, when he was the minority leader in 2003, he declared war on Alajete. May his soul rest in peace. Was he sacked from Parliament? Was he sacked? No. So why do you sack an honorable member who has made his case known? Even if he erred, there are procedures. You can allow him to retract. You can call him to order. None of the issues was followed. He just sacked the person, humiliated the person. And that is why the people of Sekui also are calling on the Speaker to render the apology. We don't need that private thing that they have done yesterday. We need a public apology. That's all.
Atta Mafo is NPP constituency secretary in Sishu also. Now, settler farmers at Ejura in the Ashanti region are accusing the traditional authority of forcefully seizing lands they inherited from their forebears. The chiefs are, however, parrying the accusation, insisting due compensations have been paid for lands reclaimed for development purposes. The heated arguments came up when the Ghana Integrity Initiative took its Land and Corruption in Africa public forum to the farming community. Ivan Heathcote Fumado has more in this report.
Vast tracts of land at Ejura in the Drasa-Chedumasi municipality of the Ashanti region have become a major source of tubers, legumes and grains, feeding several markets across the country. But beyond the cultivation of these farmlands, land ownership and use, especially for settler farmers who rent land, is a major concern.
Seek the consent of your landlord.
Unfair land administration practices that have lent themselves to corruption and loss of livelihoods for many drew heated arguments at a multi-stakeholder meeting held by the Ghana Integrity Initiative to afford the farmers and community members a window to share their concerns. You can cultivate a whole land and have somebody come to claim it after harvest, she says. And if you move to another land, you might not make any yield, she complains. I want to find out whether it is lawful for any chief to sell land to multiple people. I think the focus should be on the chiefs. Land guards will have no job if the lands were sold to one person. Some people are holding receipts and site plans, claiming to own lands. One of them has built a house on a land I personally bought and have Title 4.
And that was a report by Ivan Heathcote from Adol. Bring you the extended version in subsequent bulletins. And that's it for this morning's breakfast news. There's more news when you log on to starfm.com.gh. I am Nurein Abass. Many thanks for your company.